The presidential debate last night was the biggest load of bull that I have seen in a very, very, very long time. I think it's pretty damn obvious why Kamala Harris insisted upon having the debate on ABC. Because those motherfuckers were biased as and it wasn't enough for her to have the debate on a biased news channel with the assistance of two moderators. This unscrupulous heifer still had to find a way to cheat. Look at her earring. Look at that shit. Does this shit look familiar? Yeah, it's an audio earring. Here's another clip of it. So not only was it 3 against 1 on a biased channel, but she also had to have the assistance of an earpiece. So someone was telling her what the to say. And for the record, the migrants, the Haitian migrants, are in fact eating the animals.
I just want to interject real quick. Carving it up to eat, no. Usually when it comes to cats in the Haitian culture, that has to deal with voodoo.
I think it's like kind of odd that like a guy like me has to come out from doing what I do on a daily basis to have fun, because I see what's going on in these streets, and I see you guys just sitting up there in them comfy chairs and suits, and I'm getting out here every day and I'm broadcasting this, and you guys are just sitting up there in suits or something. Like, I really challenge you guys to get out here and do something. These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They flipping cars in the middle of the street.
It is so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property. But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard. And I can't. Look at me, I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to.
And for a party that claims to be so woke, the media is manipulating your ass and you're falling for it. When the migrants land on your front doorstep, don't complain. When groceries and rent get so high that you can't afford to shelter or feed your family, don't complain. Don't say shit. This is what you wanted. You want to fight for a woman's right to choose, but you can't even define what the woman is. At this point, everybody is pretty decided. I don't think there's many undecided voters out there. So let's take this thing to the goddamn polls. Because I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of pissed off Kamala supporters come November.
If you would like to support the Gary Lamb Network, you can do so through CashApp, PayPal, Super Chat or Super Sticker, or purchase some of the Gary Lamb Network merch. There is no contribution too small, especially when you're combating corruption in our country. Now, back to the premiere. Now, if you want to see the full clip, you can go to my X page. Link will be in the description for your convenience. But Toya, let's hear what you got to say about this young lady going in on Kamala and her earpiece, and how ABC, well, a lot of people were saying that ABC ganged up on Trump because they really want to bury him. I mean, they really, really want to bury him. They have all hands on deck trying to prevent this man from winning the selection. So let's talk about this, man, because yeah, there's a lot of angry voters out there.
Yeah, I think that's the point. First of all, right out the gate, this woman was coming out with the jab, the left and the right, the uppercut. I mean, it's our opinion. It's free, freedom of speech. Thank goodness we still have that, so we can form an opinion. I don't disagree with her. I think that she was spot on. Her mouth would sound like garbage, but she was spot on. Right. She was spot on. The earring thing. Come on, this is my thing. You were asking about what do I think about them? And a lot of people were saying, and all over social media, many people are saying the same thing. ABC, they already know the Harris campaign. They have them in the bag already. So it was 3-1, and Trump was actually in there, and he was throwing back the jabs, did a couple uppercuts, and really I noticed, and you pointed that out when we were watching too. He didn't even look at her. No, and so because he needed to stay focused, I think that it says a lot about a person that you have to do all of this and use all of these tactics to bring him or anyone else down. A liar is a liar is a liar. She's using all of these tactics. Everybody knows about the earring.
Yep.
She's holding her ear.
Yep.
Why do you have to go? And a lot of people have been saying this as well. She wouldn't open her mouth and say anything to Trump unless it's with ABC.
Yep.
So it's like, it's very clear. See, this is the thing. A lot of people are in their feelings. And you said there's a lot of angry voters. And I will venture to say it's both. It's on the left and the right. And that's a problem because we need people that are thinking realistically, that are thinking clearly and concise. What are the issues here? What is it that we're voting for? So to go to the polls and go with your feelings is not a great idea. I think that we should take the emotion out of it and think clearly, because that's where a lot of these issues are coming from. I'm going to say it. People have made Trump an idol. He's a man.
Yes.
He's the man for the job. I do believe with my heart. I do believe he's the man for the job, but still, he's a man. Stop idolizing him. That's number one. Number two, Kamala is someone that I believe is a puppet. I believe that a lot of people are saying that she has black eyes. You can tell that her soul is dark, all these different things. But when you are blinded, you cannot see. For many people in this country, it is night. The lights are off.
Yep.
They can't see a liar and deception right in front of their face. I don't care what this woman looks like. Listen to what she's saying.
Yes.
She's a liar.
Yes.
You have to listen to what she's saying. And I love how this woman here, who again, we got to change the trash bag or something. I get it. Her mouth, woo.
It was intense.
It was tough. It was tough, but I do agree with her. I like how she said, let's not pretend that what Trump is saying is not true. But a lot of people, and I'll say it on the left and the right, majority of the left, I will say, and we went through this in 2020. Oh my gosh, you're voting for Trump. Oh my gosh, y'all are oh my gosh, all the names. I mean, I've been called worse, so whatever, that's your opinion. But sell out and all of this other kind of stuff. When if you can separate the person from your opinion, separate the person from your emotions, separate that and just listen.
Right.
I don't usually go through all of this because I'm not led to, but I'm going to say it in this way. Those who have an ear, let them hear.
Yes.
If your ears are open, just like if your eyes are open, you can hear and see it plainly and blatantly for what it is. Separate the man. Because like you said the other day, a lot of people, I believe this too, were voting for Obama and similarly are voting for Harris just to spite Trump because they have hatred in their hearts for the man. See, but it's not about that. It's about, like many people have said, and we're going to do a commentary about this later. It's not about the man. It's about who's best for the job.
Yes.
Who is best for the job? So because they have hatred in their hearts for the man, they're negating the truth. He is speaking the truth. He said these people are eating animals, but because it came from him, they don't want to receive it.
And here's the thing. They literally lie to the American people.
Come on.
That is not substantiated. I'm like, are you kidding me? We did a whole video.
Come on.
Well, we didn't do a whole video on it, but we did a segment.
We mentioned it.
Right. We did a segment in our last live last week talking about this.
Yeah.
And talking about how people are saying, hey, these immigrants are coming over here killing our pets.
Yes. They're killing our pets.
And
they're killing our women, our single women. Oh
my God. They did. Yep.
They're coming over here. And I'm going to talk about this because I think that people, this is the thing. And a lot of the commentary was talking about this. It's the undecided vote and it's the single woman vote.
Yes.
So for the undecided and the ones, you're on the fence and all of that, I think y'all need to really pay attention, put aside your feelings. Check your feelings and pay attention. Listen to what's being said. The woman answered no questions.
She didn't.
She diverted. She went off on a tangent. I'm not saying that Trump didn't go on a tangent a little bit, but he was more reserved.
He went on
a little.
He went on a tangent a lot less than he normally
than he normally does.
I think people need to understand that he really did his best to hold his own in this debate because he understands that he is going after the swing vote. He understands that he is going after the undersided to vote. He understands that there are a lot of women out there that just don't like how he say things and how he operates and how he comes at his opponents. Now, many women don't like this, but let me be perfectly clear to you when it comes down to leadership. When you're in a dog fight, you gotta show your teeth.
Yes.
All right. You gotta show your teeth. You cannot come in here with pearls and ear rings and
with your chucks and your pearls and the fake
and
plastered smiles.
I know a lot of y'all want to believe that mess on Hollywood. But women can't do that in sneakers, let alone high heels. I know Obama said you can do it and you can do it better than man and in high heels. That was a way to get you emotionally charged.
Yeah, it was a ploy, just like Harris.
It was
looking in the camera, trying to pull on your heartstrings.
Notice how she had to control the conversation. She had to control the conversation. There was no real hard question to ask. I remember listening to Steve Harvey saying, and he tried to preempt the question that most people will ask. Why aren't you asking her the hard questions? Why are you not asking the hard questions? And he basically said, well, there's a reason why you can't ask the hard questions. You can't just say that I'm going after the black vote. You can't say that I'm just going after the Asian vote or I'm going after the woman's vote. You can't say these things because you will alienate a lot of your voters by doing that. I agree, which is exactly what Kamala has been doing her whole campaign. She has completely ignored the male vote.
Yeah.
Completely ignored it. She doesn't want to answer any hard questions that the men want answered. You want to know why men are so angry about the border? Because we're the ones that have to protect this country.
That's right.
All right. We're the ones that have to put our lives on the line to make sure that our families stay safe. All right. My wife said in the last live, she's not allowed to go anywhere without some form of protection. She can't go to the store without either me or her son. She can't go out. She can't do it because I'm like, and yes, we are in a pretty safe environment. We're in the red state, Oklahoma. That doesn't matter.
So what? Dangers everywhere.
All right. All right. There's dangers everywhere. And I am not interested with the open borders, allowing my wife to just go out there willy-nilly. Because even though she can protect herself and hold her own, she's still a woman.
And it's a target. Right now, it seems to me that many women are the target. Truth be told, the Northeast, there's a lot in New York, and there was one that was just found. Well, he's actually still being arraigned, but he was brought up for the manslaughter charges in Tulsa, and that's right here in Oklahoma. So you don't just because, see, this is the thing. They're highlighting a few of the known cases. I'm talking about the ones we don't know about.
Yes.
I'm talking about the ones that they're roaming around in these cities across this country, and you looking at them on the other day. And I mean, I'm sorry to say it, and we can't stand to be racially profiled, but now, unfortunately, with these people in office, we have to look at people, on a regular basis with the side eye. Where you come from?
Oh my!
You
God.
Up here out of nowhere. You weren't here a few weeks ago. Now all of a sudden, you and your family and all the rest. Where you come from? So I have a problem with that, and I wanted to highlight this part here because I love how this woman. I mean, like I said, she came out the gate. She came swinging. She came with. I mean, she came out the gate. She came with. What do you call them? The canines ready. I mean, she was ready. She came out.
She came out showing her teeth.
She said, and I agree with a lot of the commentary. There's 3 against 1. She said that whole area there. Let's not pretend Trump is off base was what he's saying. What she said was you want a woman's vote to right. Excuse me. I can repeat it. She said you want to vote a woman's right to choose, but y'all can't identify what is an actually natural born woman.
Yes.
And so for me, that was really huge because we're talking about this whole woke agenda. Bear with me for a moment. Take a stroll with me, if you will. Woke is an adjective derived from the African American vernacular English, originally meaning alertness to racial prejudice and discrimination. Beginning in the Okay, woke is an adjective derived from African American vernacular English, originally meaning alertness to racial prejudice and discrimination. Beginning in the 2010s, it came to be used as a slang for a broader awareness of social inequalities, such as racial injustice, sexism, and denial of LGBT rights. Okay, but then you have awakened. I've been saying this for a long time. So here we go. Awakened, to arouse or rouse and activate from sleep, to cause to stop sleeping, to revive, to be made aware, to stop sleeping. It means to become or to become, it means to become or cause to become active or lively. Huge difference between woke and awakened.
Now, explain why that is such an importance.
See, for me, I think that there's a lot of people, and I've been saying this for a while, but this is a perfect example. This race here has divided our country. It's caused
What
major
race?
division. This political race.
Oh, the race.
The
race. Okay.
political race, and because y'all, the woke nation, all of y'all are stuck on racial injustice. But see, when you have a broad vision for the big picture, and I'm not blind to the fact I'm an African American woman, I'm a brown woman of color. Yes, I am, but that's not where it stops for me.
Right.
And for many of us, that's where it stops for you, and you're missing it.
Yet, oh my.
You're missing it. This is a huge, listen, there's a big picture here. So for me, when people say woke, and you know, that's that one genre of people that are you know, just what do you call that? Just laser sharp focus, or so they think. And they have blinders on. Mm-hmm. So for me, when you're saying woke, it's like The Walking Dead. You think it's like a person that's sleepwalking.
Right.
You think you're awake, but you're walking around asleep with your eyes closed. When you have a full awakening, it's like scales falling from your eyes, and you can see, because I can see clearly now. You can see.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is what's really happening. Mm-hmm. Oh my, and that for me, that happened in 2020.
Right.
You could see the big picture. Listen, y'all, for all y'all woke ones, you say you're so woke. It's the pack mentality. Run first and ask questions later. Enough. This right here is, I mean, they're hitting hard facts. This woman is not for you.
She's not. Now, I wanna bring home even further why you think the woke mentality is such a discouraging thing for America. Because I here's what I think when it comes down to it. Yes, I can understand their plight. Yeah. I can understand their frustration, because as a black man, because I gotta talk woke language right now. As a black heterosexual male, it is really hard to be in an environment of woke people.
Yes, very hard.
Because I am not allowed to say certain things because I'm a heterosexual male. So I can't talk about women's issues. I can't, even though I'm supposed to pay for women's issues, right? I can't talk about it, but I'm supposed to pay for it. I can't talk about homosexuality, but they're hitting on me, asking me, have you ever tried it before? But I can't go against that. I have to just accept the fact that, well, I got a man, you know, prancing around me in the grocery store, you know, and I'm in aisle 17 with the motor oil, and he all of a sudden is in aisle 17 with the motor oil, and he's like doing the whole, you know, doughy type move, and excuse me, and I can't say nothing about it, right? But it's irritating to me because as a heterosexual black man, that's disgusting, but I can't say that, right? These are the things that bother us on the other side of your plight to push your agenda.
Yes.
Okay. And to force people to accept your behavior while trying to minimize and to control and censor my own behavior.
Okay, so you hit it right. You hit the head right on the nail, because for me, that's exactly what it is. When you say, see, I remember when all of this started. This was years ago. We put a name. People, not we, but society has put a name to it with BLM. It's just like any original good idea. The negative comes in, the poison comes in, and makes it toxic. When it first came out, BLM, there was an idea that the originators had, and originally it came out as something that was to unify, to have a voice, and to peaceably assemble, all of these things. But then came some greedy liar, sound familiar? And came in, brought some poison, and came in and caused it to be toxic. And so now it has grown. They hijacked it. Yes. So then it grew from something that was originally supposed to be positive originally, and it's grown into a nightmare. So I believe, I'm going to say it this way. I don't know that the woke movement was so innocent in the beginning. I'm going to say that.
I don't think it was innocent at all.
No.
But
let me finish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But for me, there's some people that, because this is what happens, and that's why I'm mentioning the pack mentality. There's some, it's almost like sorry to say it this way, but it's almost like a gang. Is, you know, different people from, I'm an 80s kid, so from the 80s and the 90s and NWA and all these different things, right? It was, you know, and I'm not bringing it up because I'm a believer, so I'm not saying those type of things, but the music that, y'all know what I mean, the music that they put out back then, with the police and with the brutality and all of these crazy things. Hatred is hatred. Hatred has no color. So when all of that came out, it was from a place of pain and a place of frustration and purity. It was a cry for help. So you have these people that think, oh wow, there's someone that we can identify with who has a voice, who has a platform, but they have an agenda.
Yes, they do.
So here you come with your a lot, not all, some with a pure motive, and you come in thinking, okay, here's someone that could speak for my plight, and you come into a place and you find, oh my gosh, you're around a whole bunch of wolves. For me, the woke, and you were asking the question, just to answer your question, what does it represent for me? To me, the woke movement is not so much anymore about having a place that you have a safe environment for someone to represent you in a safe way, and in a safe way to express your pain, and a safe place to express your pain, and have someone represent you the way that you would represent yourself. Because there's some people that are on the left or on the LGBTQ or whatever the woke movement, whatever part of the woke movement you are in, there are some that are not loud, they're not troublemakers, they come peaceably, but it's always the loud ones. So for me, it's similar to how BLM started, but I want to say for me that the woke movement is blind for the great majority, and it's become a social construct. It has nothing to do with what the originating purpose was. It's grown from something that was possibly something that could have made a lot of change in a pure way, that has now become very, very poisonous.
Wow.
For me.
Wow. Now, okay. We got to move on. We really got to move on. But I just want to ask one last question before we move on to the next part of the video. How do you think the Awaken can speak some perspective? I don't want to say sense, because that's kind of disrespectful in a lot of ways. How do you think the Awaken can show another perspective to people who are on the fence that are woke?
Well,
because we know the Bible's not going to work. They don't want to listen to that.
Well, see, I think that's the issue, because I'm just like, they're not going to change. I'm not going to change who I am to suit you.
Right.
I'm not going to change my beliefs because that's the whole point. Control. I'm not going, that's what they, you know, stand on in a lot of ways. So I'm not going to upend what I believe in as a foundation for my life just to make you feel good. This is the time, is no more time to wake the sheep. It's time to wake the lions and make sure that we are moving forward. I care about you. I truly do. I care about you because when you are awakened, your eyes are wide open. So you see the unseen. You see what others are not seeing. So the ones that are still asleep, it is heartbreaking because they're right in your face and you're saying, danger, danger, danger. It's gonna rain, get on the boat. And they're saying, Noah, get out my face.
Right.
So for me, all I can do is tell the truth,
And sound the alarm.
uncut, sound the alarm, and hope you hear it with all of my heart. And if you don't, dust my feet and keep it moving.
Oh man, that's tragic. That is so tragic.
It
All right,
is
so let's
tragic.
move on to the next one that we have here. All right, so we are about to listen to some commentary from the PBD podcast from the debate. And my wife and I, we really, really love PBD, and we wanted to get to hear. We wanted to talk about what they had to say because there was a lot of things that I really wanted to mention, but I didn't want to go live on that night because PBD was already live and I was way more entertained watching this than actually trying to do any live videos and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and listen to what happened, what the panelists on the PBD podcast had to say, because I really think this is important.
From the National Constitution Center right here in Philadelphia.
By the way, I did a poll on Twitter. Right before it got started. If you can pull up Twitter, Rob, and you can mute the TV. If you can go. Here's a poll I ran right before it started. How many times will ABC moderators interrupt correct Trump tonight to help Kamala? I said 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 6, 7. A lot of people commented. They said it's going to be 0. No one's going to say anything. He's been interrupted now 8 times so far. 8 times so far. Tom, how do you think he's doing? How do you think she's doing?
She's doing better than I thought. She's memorized the responses. She's doing okay answering questions. She's not the word salad I thought she would be on some of this stuff. Says, but I think Trump is doing a very noble job making the point, and they're deliberately poking him. Everything that she's saying, like about Project 2025 and things like this, she's deliberately throwing lies at him because the strategy here is to piss him off and to get him really irrationally angry. But he's coming back and he's staying within himself. And I think his responses have been very, very strong as far as that. And she is repeating lies. I went down this and I'm really shocked at the level of lies that have been repeated. And I'm not saying this from a partisan point of view. I'm just going down here and looking at the things. Charlottesville, things that have been debunked. They're bringing them back up in front of the American people as just the fact. She's gaslighting in the middle of her answers, trying to piss him off, and he's not biting.
Adam.
Now, this is something that I was saying, and I said this a bunch of times throughout this year. Trump needs to calm down.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for the longest time, and he did just that.
Yeah.
I don't know if people realize, but these rules actually played in Trump's favor, in my opinion. It helped him calm down. So whomever was coaching Trump did an excellent job.
Yeah, they did.
Excellent job, because he did not go after the bait. Now, he did get baited a little bit in January 6th, and I want to talk about that a little bit, because I understand why he's so frustrated with that, because that was a very passionate time in his life.
Of course.
Right?
Many.
It was a very, you have to understand, this man was getting hit with everything they had to throw at him. He thought his friends were his friends. They're not his friends. He thought he had support. He didn't have support. I remember when he was talking about the China deal and how they was, having this real good back and forth with China. And he was like, yo, okay, this is really good. And then came COVID. And soon after that, I remember it like yesterday, how he said, I'm looking at the deal differently.
Yep.
And when I saw that man Will turning, I was like, yeah, Trump, you was playing chess and they was playing 3D chess.
Uh-huh.
And he realized that. Okay. He went in there as a businessman.
Yeah.
And I think these world leaders knew he was going to come in as a businessman.
Right.
And they utilized whatever thing that they had to do, whatever they had going on, and they played it like a fiddle. So now Trump is way more advanced with this stuff. You can see there's a different type of Trump.
Yeah.
He's not going in there as a businessman. Don't get it twisted. He's going to use his business sense to make deals and so on and so forth.
And it helped.
And it helps. But in this debate, I really think he did an excellent job holding back his frustration. Yes, at the end, he started getting really a little unraveled. He focused more on Kamala than he should have, I believe.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think he did a really, really good
he brought
job.
it back around.
So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I've said it. I'm not going to stop saying it. I think Trump is, again, like I said, you are not, when a lot of people are looking at, and I agree, and we're going to get through this part here in the commentary, because this gentleman here in the first one, he mentions it. When you're looking at Trump, I feel like he's that uncle that, oh yeah, like, you know, the movie like Danny DeVito, Uncle Vinny, like you're gonna bring out the one that's gonna bring the noise when you need it to. He don't care about people. He's not politically correct. He's not, he doesn't have, he needs that PR because he needs, like, Vance's for him, needs somebody to come in. But he did good, because I do see him like a hothead. Don't come for him because he's gonna come back and stuff. So I like, and whoever, like you said, whoever coached him did a great job. Whoever coached her, not so much. For those that think they did a good job, why you gotta cheat? The earring, all of that. Come on.
Well, of course they gotta cheat. Listen, look, Toy, come on.
That's how that goes. They cheat.
Come on. Look, you're going against a man who has a political base, a fan base that is top notch. I mean, he's clearly won a lot of black voters over. A lot of black voters over, which is why I believe that the borders are open, because they're trying to replace their,
if people pay attention.
They're trying to replace their voting class. And I think a lot of progressives are okay with this, because you hear a lot of progressives talk about this urban thing. You know, and they constantly say something about this urban thing. It's not as urban. It's not as urban. It's not as urban. That's insulting. And I know you might not see it as such because you don't know what racism looked like. You've never seen it before.
And many people don't know what a liar looks like either, because she's lying through her teeth.
You don't even know how it sounds. And the problem and this is the reason why it's so funny to listen to progressives talk, because they will literally sit there and say racial stuff right in front of you. And they think okay.
I think it's okay.
It's because they're usually the ones signing the check. They're middle management. They're the ones that control your ability to take care of your family. So of course they're going to think that what they're saying is nothing wrong with it, because they don't see it. As long as I'm being nice, how am I being racist? And I'm like, guys, you've never seen racism before. How would you be able to tell us what racism is? I've lived it my entire life. So when I see somebody like Trump, who's just an asshole, let's call a spade a spade. Trump's an asshole.
Bless his heart.
All right. Versus a straight up, flat out racist individual who use huge words and these big, weird sentence phrases and stuff that have no special meaning other than I'm smarter than you.
You mean the word salads that Kamala uses all
there
the time?
You go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like,
gotcha.
You think we're fools. I've listened. This is why, you know, when you see a lot of women who are voting for Kamala, I listen to what they're saying, and I listen to how they process their information, how they formulate their opinions. And it tends to be based off of how they feel. And that's the problem with a lot of voters, men included. You are running off of how you feel, and your feelings will get you in trouble just about every single time. So I don't want people to ignore their feelings because they're valid. There's a reason why you're feeling that way. But ask yourself this question: why am I feeling this way? Where's the root? Where do I have to Do I have to go way back in my past to understand why I'm feeling this way? Is it an uncle that said something to me when I was a very little girl or a very little boy that really bothered me, and reason why I cannot stand how Trump say what he says?
Right.
Because he is not politically correct. He's definitely not eloquent with his words. I mean, God knows he's not eloquent. They're eating the pets. I'm like, oh boy, Trump, please. That's the wrong way to do it. That's the wrong way to do it. They're eating the pets. You got to stop them eating the pets. No, you shouldn't have said it that way, Trump. No, Trump, stop, Trump. And they went after him. He was like, oh, they're eating pets, huh? Because nobody's going to really, see how he's doing it, and they don't understand where it's coming from, especially if they're not doing the research to find this kind of stuff.
Right.
Because they're just coming to the debate after work.
Right.
You're watching the debate at the bar or the salon,
like a football game,
right?
Yeah.
They're just that it's on, so I'm watching it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not really doing the due
doctor's
diligence.
Office.
I'm not doing the due diligence to see exactly what they're talking about. So when they see the news and they trust the news. And they trust ABC. They trust NBC.
You trust CNN.
They trust CNN. They trust New York Times and the New York Post because this is where they get their news. And I've heard a lot of people say, "I watch the news, I read the paper." And I'm like, yeah, that means you're lied to.
Right.
You're desperately lied to, and it's sad because I have a lot of people that say I can't stand when you use CNN, I can't stand you when you use these sources and stuff like that. Yeah, but I use these sources because the swing voters use these sources.
Right. You need to know what people are listening to.
People are not digging into this stuff the way we are, because we're creating content, trying to do a very best job to give you as much of as an authentic viewpoint from not only citizens of the United States, Black people from the United States, and hard working people from the United States.
Yes.
It's not and people who used to be asleep.
Yes.
I used to be under a rock. I didn't care nothing about politics. I still don't care nothing about politics, but politics is messing up my life. So I have to look into it. So what are your thoughts about that?
I wanted to just make a comment about what you just said for the ones that do the research and all that. Yes, we have a platform and we believe God put us here, but for the peanut gallery, those in the back that, those keyboard warriors, you have so much to say. Go ahead, cite the links, the research. We'll take your information and look in that too. But at the end of the day, we're the ones in front of the camera. You're still hiding behind your profile pic. Just got to say that.
Ooh.
Aside from that, I do agree. Trump is like Uncle Vinny. It's like, if you listen, he gonna come out, he gonna say what it is, point blank, plain. So what? Don't care about it. But it's not a lie.
No. I got this on to make sure that you're.
Oh, it's not a lie. I mean, he said that they're eating the animals. Now, we were talking about it on the live. Not everybody's eating the animals that are the immigrants, that are migrants coming in. Some of them are using them for rituals. We can go down that lane if you want to.
Well, as a matter of fact, we're gonna put a segment in right now from last live, but continue.
I mean, and as soon as I saw that, I'm like, yeah, that's not what that's for. They're about to go do something. They bring in a lot of evil, demonic things into this country. Y'all don't want to talk about it. That's why you don't bring in this type of stuff in a country that it's not based on that. That's what I believe Trump is trying to avoid, and he's trying to alleviate and kill that. And at the end of the day, if you're listening to this woman, again, it's hatred doesn't have a color.
Yes.
Deceit and discrimination doesn't have a color. It's a spirit. It's a person. Just like America used to have a spirit. And there's some of us that still have the American spirit. People call them patriots. You call whatever you want. But at the end of the day, there is a traditional value. There is a foundation here in this country. In the Harris-Biden side, they're trying to kill that.
Yes.
If you're paying attention, that is what this is about. This is literally separating the wheat from the tares.
Yes.
There are two sides here, guys, and it's not just red and blue. You have to open your eyes. You have to see deception for what it is.
Yes.
This woman is lying straight in your face.
Yes.
She's lying.
Yes.
And I think, like I said, when people are so gung-ho and they're so stuck on, well, she's for us, she's for us, she's for us. I'm going to ask you this. Seriously. I'm going to ask you this because I do believe, this is what I believe. All right, is my opinion, but I do believe this, not just as an opinion. If Trump were somewhere that he was not being taped, now, again, I said he's like Uncle Vinny, so it might be a bad day. Hopefully you caught him on a good day.
Right.
But I do believe that he would have a conversation with a regular person.
Yes.
Now, with Harris, and I'm an African-American brown woman, unless it's for her gain, and unless it has anything to do with this campaigner, and like I said, anything for her gain, look back at her track record as of late. I'm not talking about years and years and years ago when she was a senator and she was a lawyer. I'm not talking about that.
I'm talking about right now.
I'm talking about how she is now. Do you think she would talk to you if she was in the parking lot of the golf club, the country club?
Well, if you're in a country club and you're not carrying golf clubs,
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
If you're not of the working class, maybe if you're not a waiter that works there, if there was no photo op or camera security, nobody else around, and it was just her, do you think she would even give you the time of day?
Listen, I think that, and here's the thing that a lot of people don't really,
the ones that's going for her,
right? They don't want to hear this part of the sector, the voting sector, if you will. They don't want to hear the working class, because the working class work right up and personal with these people, like Melinda Gates. I just want to bring up Melinda Gates real quick. $52 million donation to the Kamala's campaign. She went on national television. She went and did her own couple of videos to show her support to Kamala. Now, I don't care what you feel about Bill Gates. I don't care what you feel about his foundation. I don't care about what you feel about any of that stuff. I'm just showing you this one incident. This woman got up in front of millions and millions of voters to tell the world, I am voting for Kamala Harris because women need their reproductive rights protected. That's why I'm giving you I'm showing you how this is why it really bothers me that people fall for this mess. You really think the working class, who know how y'all fall apart behind closed doors, I wait on you. I listen to you go off on your kids. I see how you treat the staff. I see how you act. I see how you act when you are off your meds. I see it. And you are showing me this perfect picture. Like I didn't see you 5 minutes ago behind the curtains. This is why they hate us, because we know the real them. We know, I was just listening to a judge, an ex-judge that just was took off her seat, and I'm gonna see about bringing up that clip and how she was treating one of her staff members, and he was a nervous wreck around her because of how she treated people, how she acted towards people, how she judged people, and how she was behind closed doors, and they got her for, I think, harassment. Again, I'm trying to put the clip in here, but we see you. The point is, we see you. So when we see you in this picture perfect, and the way Melinda Gates was sitting, it was like, dude.
Yeah, you pointed that out.
I'm like, this picture is perfect.
Like she was a queen, and they were her subordinates and her subjects.
Talk about Stepford wives. This is a perfect picture. Who sits like that?
Yeah.
And so when you see a person like that endorsing a candidate, you have to sit back and say,
yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of, and I want to say this, I'm not trying to be on some race thing, but for those of you who are Caucasian, there's a lot of faking it till you make it, right? And I see a whole lot of white people faking it They really want to say what's on their mind, but they just don't know how to say it. They don't have the guts to say it because they're afraid to lose their job. So they'll do certain things to let you know that they're not happy with what's going on, like fire you for weird things that everybody else do. But all of a sudden, you're the one that got to get fired for it. Like you're the one. Well, I'm going to let you go because you're on your phone all the time. Everybody's on their phone.
Mhm.
That's all you got?
Mhm.
Like, get me for being late 15 times in a row. Don't get me for being on my phone. You know what I'm saying? But they'll get rid of you because you're causing a ruckus. You're doing something. And here's the problem. A lot of times you don't even know you're doing it. You're just being you.
Mhm.
You're just being you. But because you're garnishing too much influence, they got to get rid of you.
I think that's the point. That last key that you just made, because they're garnishing too much influence.
Mm-hmm.
That's censorship. That's the issue that they have with Trump. There's too much influence there.
Far too much
So now
influence.
this woman has to come in with all of her goons, with all of the lies, with the earpiece, with, like you said, these Caucasian people. And like you always say, there's a difference between Caucasian people and white people. White
Yes.
people, most of them like us, but the Caucasian people are the ones that have a superiority complex.
No.
Oh, the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the other way
most
around.
Caucasians
Are like us.
let me
That's
just
the
say
one
real
you're
quick.
saying.
There's two different type of
Don't be taking the statement either. We're gonna copyright it.
Okay, there are two type of pale skins. I'm going to use the Indian vernacular for this. There are two type of pale skins.
Indigenous vernacular.
Indigenous. That's the word. The politically, because we're on YouTube, and I'm also show this on Rumble, but we're on YouTube, so we got to be very, very. That's why I have the word censor there. But I'm going to use the indigenous vernacular for this: pale skin or pale face. So there are two type of pale face. The ones that's governed by pale face, and the ones that think they're in charge, who are really the new N-words.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are garnered, that are being managed by the paleface who think they're in charge, are Caucasians.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is just my way of how I break it down. You can use it if you want, but like you said, we're coining it. Caucasians see through the BS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're the ones that's missing teeth. They're the ones that's on these rinkety, broke down, beat up trucks, going around cleaning pools, cleaning up your lawns, cleaning up your house, cutting your hedges, so on and so forth. They come home, they kick their dusty, dirty, filthy boots off. They're not even allowed to come into the house because they're so filthy. They're the ones in all this electrical gear at 900-degree Fahrenheit weather in a ditch somewhere with zero wind. They're there. That's a Caucasian.
You talking about the working class.
I'm talking about the working class.
The rest of us.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have middle management, the new house N-word.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a lot of black people say this. The best house N-word is the one who actually think they're a part of the crew.
You mean like Harris?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
So they really believe they're part of the crew.
It's a whole lot like her, if that's the case. Mm-hmm.
And what better way to get some? Because see, here's the thing: you're not different from any other human. Whether you are white, whether you're Hispanic, whether you're black, whether you're Asian, you're not different from any other human. If you are indoctrinated long enough, you will forget who you are and where you come from and start to believe the hype. Mm-hmm. That's why you have to be rooted and booted into the word, because the word will bring you right back to your remembrance, bring you right back to reality, and say, hey, go back to the word. Because if you go back to the word, it will tell you this is how deception works. Mm-hmm. So you've been on top for years. You've been driving your Ferrari. You've been getting your $250,000 check every year. You've been telling people what to do. You do that long enough, you completely forget where you came from, and you start to despise where you came from.
Yep. And
that's what happens. You start losing touch with reality, and you start living too dang high. And you start thinking, because your superior talks to you in a decent manner,
right,
that you're a part of the club,
that they still wouldn't take you out. And so you end up thinking that you're one of the team. As long as you play your part, I believe, sorry to say, just like Miss Harris, well, we'll do whatever you can to help you lie and steal this race.
Yeah.
Put the fake earrings on. Go ahead and bring, just like Clinton, Hillary, let's bring this fake Southern twang accent. Let's just try to become one of them. Come on.
Yo, that
right in our faces.
Listen, man, and but here's the thing. People fall for
For
it.
some, it's working.
People fall for it. I mean,
I'm really praying for awakening with that. Seriously.
I noticed that Harris did everything she can to try to make Trump look racist. She did everything she could to try to do that.
Yeah.
But he's the only candidate that I can remember.
And let's quote, yes,
that said, "I'm talking to black people, black BLACK, black people, $500 billion. I want to help you directly." And a lot of people saying, "Oh, you don't believe that. Don't believe." What other candidate did that? Kamala came out and said, straight, I can't just say I'm gonna do something specifically for black people.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point. See, you have to see, like this gentleman here said, and we get back to the video, that he said you can tell that this woman is gaslighting us right in our faces just because she looks a certain way. Just put that aside. Don't you know Jezebel when you see her? And people, connect Jezebel as just with a woman because a lot of time that's what how it manifests itself. But it's the spirit, just like the spirit of hatred, the spirit, love, all these, it's the source behind it. So just because she's smiling in your face with that fake plastered smile does not mean that she would not take you out in a heartbeat. Don't think for 1 second that she wouldn't take you out if you don't do just what she says.
Now, to be fair, don't think for 1 second Trump won't take you out either.
But the side of it.
Okay, see, look, I need everybody to understand this. For those who are very upset with the fact that I am an independent thinker and I think for myself the best way I can based on what was programmed into me, because a lot of times I am thinking that I'm thinking for myself when in reality I am thinking with a program that has been dormanted for so many years, and then it just pops up when it pops up because I was indoctrinated just like a lot of people. I went to public school, so I was indoctrinated. So I have to be very careful with the programming that has not been snuffed out by my firewall. That's going under the radar. I have to be very careful that might not rise up and cause a cancer in my system because I'm running off of what I think is accurate. This is why I say go to the word. The word will set you free. The truth will set you free. Well, the truth will make you free. It may not feel good to realize that I gotta stop thinking this way because it's hard to do that sometimes, especially when you're ill-equipped with it. You haven't been taught how to deal with your emotions and how to get through that. It's very difficult. But make no mistake, Trump is a man. Okay, you can't be idolizing anybody. Trump is a man. Trump can be, Trump can be, Trump can make mistakes. You've seen it. He's made many mistakes. All right. Trump can be led by his flesh, just like every man out there. This is why when you say Trump did a really good job in holding himself together, we say that because
he's a man.
Exactly.
Right.
He's not a robot. Okay. He has emotions. He gets irritated and agitated, and he is a type of person that is used to getting his way. So don't be so gun-ho one way. You have to look at the whole picture. Trump, you're still a man.
Yeah.
You're still a man. And yes, I think you're the man for this job.
Right, for this job.
But you're not the man that I'm supposed to be looking up to.
Right.
You're not the man that I'm supposed to be seeking after. That's Jesus Christ's job.
Right. We need to go past him.
Right. So I need to make this perfectly clear with what my wife just said. Yes, Kamala will snuff you out, but I think Trump will too if he has to. All right. It's just what it is. He's a man. So you can't dismiss what you're hearing about Trump because, they're just trying to get Trump. They're trying to get Trump, but there's probably some things that's accurate. and you really want to look into that. Will that change your vote? I'm not sure if it will change my vote because I see the alternative. And right now we have to vote for the lesser of the two evils. We got no other choice.
Right. We have to vote for the one that's best for the job.
Yep.
Not because of how you feel about the person.
Right. So let's continue.
Well, look, let's not get it twisted. They're debating for the most powerful job on earth.
I didn't know he was going to say
Every
that.
trick, every line, every talking point that you possibly can. I've been sort of scoring this like a boxing match. I have Trump on the different topics. They went economy, tariffs, abortion, immigration, fracking, January 6th, 2020 election, and Israel, Gaza. I have Trump up 6-2 right now. Of course, she's winning on abortion. This is all they got, y'all. They got abortion. And if it's the election comes down to abortion is the number one issue, then welcome to the presidency of the United States, Kamala Harris. Ridiculous. Anything else, it's Trump.
I mean, she's obviously, like Tom said, she's had how many weeks to practice and memorize all the talking points. I wouldn't be shocked if she knew ahead what the hell's been going on. He's debating 3 people right now. He's not debating
Yes.
debating them. I hope the people aren't dumb enough. But Pat, you know this. What she's saying, the bloodbath, the line, the January 6th, the people at home, they're not fact checking. Average Americans that are sitting there, not like us, the awake people, they're like, wow, he said this.
No, I missed he said that. I missed that.
Don't think it's enough to get the average person to flip on Trump. I still think he's kicking butt.
Well, it's interesting to see that pretty much the entire line of questioning is all favoring Kamala, right? But I will give her credit for the one point where they asked her about flip-flopping on some of her policies. At least they did that. But were you guys satisfied with that response? Personally, I don't feel unburdened by what has been. I don't know about the rest of you. I definitely don't feel like I'm burdened by what has been. I think she's doing, like Tom said, better than most of us expected. At least it's not a word salad. But when you look into the substance of what's being said, Donald Trump is winning by miles. How
do you got it scored right now, Pat?
What about you?
Oh, no. I'm breaking down my tweet. Every time there's debates, I write a long ass tweet that's going to go out. Yeah, I mean, I'm watching his highlights, her highlights. She did the abortion thing so eloquently.
Yeah.
She was so good. She looked at the camera. She looked at him. If you guys
Told
know,
you the emotions.
looking, not one time has she gone like this. This is how she is the entire time.
Yeah, looking at
Like
him.
this. Basic, one most basic things to be thinking about for those that. Does anybody get headaches when you hear weird voices? Who gets headaches?
Yes.
I swear to God, if we have to listen to that voice for 4 years of her speaking the way she speaks, like she's lecturing you the entire time. You know how you have an aunt or somebody you date that's just lecturing you, and you're at dinner, and in your mind, like she's lecturing, you're like, dude, I mean, I've been done with you for 2 minutes. I'm just waiting to get the hell out of here. You have to have a little bit of fun, and we are done. You want me to listen to this for 4 years?
I can't.
That right now, I understand where you're coming from, Patrick, but at the end of the day, that's irrelevant. I know where he's coming from. I get that, but that's irrelevant as hell. If she was the right candidate, you darn right I'm okay with listening to it. She's the right candidate for the job. So I don't know where he's coming from with this. And yes, I do understand that she does not have just like the guy says later in this podcast, he says it sounds like my aunt is talking.
Yeah,
to
he
me.
did.
Okay, but if she was hitting points, and I said this in a previous video, I want to hear what Kamala has to say.
Right, and I think that's why they kept her quiet for so long, and why she's been busy for every single appointment.
I really, really needed to hear from Kamala, and here's why. It's not that I'm not interested in voting for Trump. It's not that I'm not interested in listening to Trump. It's that I've been listening to Trump since 2016.
Right.
I've heard just about every single thing he has to offer for the presidency. I am so interested in him being my president for the next 4 years.
Right, because we have a very clear idea of what his plans are.
But I don't have a clear idea of what Kamala plans are.
What did she say?
And
what is she doing?
In order for me to make a good, wholesome, strong decision, I gotta hear from both candidates. I may not like one because of their their take on reproductive rights. I may not like Kamala's take on that because it's blasphemy. It's
Right.
genocide. It's against the word of God. So for me, I'm already like, yo, man, But as a civil worker, but as an American citizen, I have to look outside of myself because my vote is going to affect my wife. My vote is going to affect my kids. My vote is going to affect my neighbor. Do you see where I'm going from?
Big picture.
My vote has to be rational. It has to be based off of facts, truth, and reasoning, positive reasoning.
Facts, truth, and reasoning.
I can't say I don't like Kamala because of this only.
Right.
That's the same. That's the equivalent of what's going on. I'm not voting for Trump because of the way he talks. He says stupid stuff.
Like, what do you mean? I need to know the policy. Give me the facts.
I need to know what your policies are, because in the heat of the moment, people say dumb stuff.
Yeah.
People say dumb stuff in the heat of the moment. But when it comes down to hearing what Kamala has to offer the country, I really wanted to hear her say something. Give me something. Tell me why the borders are wide open. Give me an understanding. Why am I competing with these low wages? Why are we getting such a high boost in crime? What's really going on? Is it really a sanctuary thing? Are these people are seeking refuge? Is it really what? If it is, tell me that.
Right.
Give me some case by case evidence to say, guys, I know you can't stand with the borders being open. I understand, but let me explain what's going on.
Which she said nothing of the
sort. Nothing.
She said nothing of the sort. I'm telling you, I do believe those that have been coaching her with that earring in her ear, and like this gentleman said, practicing the answers and all of this speech that if you listen, she's been saying the same thing at every speech, at every rally. If I believe that she's been saying that at the same time at every single rally. If she did bring it up, then that would have given us something to go off of. Trump was trying to get to it. They veered off. I believe they told her. I believe they told her, stay off the topic.
Yep. Don't go, because that's Trump's land.
Yes.
That's Trump's land. If you look, again, this is a dogfight.
Yeah.
So you got to be very, very smart and strategic. And that's exactly why they had to have this on ABC, because they had. Now, granted, I don't think it would have mattered any platform they used. I don't think it would have mattered.
Not too much, but I think that this played in her favor as far as the platform.
Even further, it did.
Yeah.
But I'm not really interested in hearing. I don't like how she sounds. That was kind of.
No, I get it.
That was kind of a low blow in my opinion. But I get where he's coming from. And I understand why he said it. But that was a low blow, because that's like saying, well, I can't look at your face for the next 4 years.
Yeah, that's just like many that are saying, oh, that orange guy. Okay, but what is he saying?
But what is he trying? Is he doing his job?
Right.
Is he doing what he's supposed to do? Do he have the American people best interest at heart?
Right.
I trust that he does, but I don't really know the man personally, so I can only go off of what I've seen, which I've seen a crap ton of them.
Right.
All right. A crap ton of them. We got a history with Trump, guys. We got a history from WWE, The Apprentice, freaking every book that he's ever written. I mean, we got a history with Trump. So believe me when I say, yes, I love hearing from Trump, and yes, I want him as my president. But right now, the bigger picture is, what is it that Kamala has to say? And she had nothing to say.
She didn't come with it.
She did not come. She blew the abortion thing out of the water, because of course she did. All right. She looked in the camera. She talked about this, and what about this woman, and what about that, and
like that's the grand majority. Come on,
all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but that's a small percentage.
not only is it a small percentage, I think you made this point before. You have to listen to what's not being said. This woman is talking about reproductive rights, and started to say, oh, well, what about this young girl who was taking advantage of her friend or something from when she was in school, or her uncle or something like that. She was talking about that. Or what about this married couple who they were trying to have this baby and blah, 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 blah. But I believe that Harris and those that are running with her on her team and those that she represents are solely talking about abortion, genocide, murder. They are not talking about these circumstances only, where there are married couples who are saying, oh, for the safety of my wife, this is a life and death situation, etc. No, she's using these erroneous, very minimal, and I'm not saying that is not a part of the equation of the percentage, but the grand majority and percentage that she's pushing is the ones that just want that in their back pocket as just an out. That's the ones that I think that she's using that for.
What about these 3 women who lost their lives?
They stayed away from it.
Why didn't y'all talk about that? Like you brought up the incident where a young woman was R-word, and you completely ignored these 3.
Yeah, and see, this is what's also sad to me. Not only did she ignore it, I mean, like the plague, and did not go into the topic at all. She veered off to it and said a whole bunch of lies. Not only did she not do that, but this unfortunately goes to show the same examples that this one here, Riley, one of the women here, her mother went and did a rally that was spearheaded by Trump, who's not even the sitting president right now. And the mom said, "Where is Biden? You're my president. Where is
Kamala? Hold on.
Listen, that's what I'm trying to say. And now you had a chance. This was a golden opportunity for her. She blew it.
Because she can't bring these up. She can't bring him up. If she would have brought up any one of these cases, Trump would have ate her alive.
Yeah.
All he would have had to say is, those were illegal immigrants who performed those vicious acts.
Yes.
And you are the border czar.
Yep. He said, but you're the border czar. And she's trying to shake it off. You could I'm telling you, she had her poker face on as best as she could put it on, because she's a lawyer first. But at the end of the day, she stayed away from it, and I believe they told her to.
She stayed away from it, and we're not going to go in detail when it comes down to the school shootings that's been going on.
Oh man,
because that's a whole nother issue. That's a whole nother topic. But I do want to mention that because the mental instability of our children right now is insane, right? We are on antidepressants, and it's been shown that these antidepressants are really harming our children.
Yeah,
they're affecting us negatively. This agenda, this new ideology, this individuality stuff, it's affecting our children. They don't have anything to imprint on, so they're printing on anything that sounds good, right? And I really would like to talk about those things, because again, this is public school ran by the government.
Yep.
All right, is ran by the government. And the way that I see Kamala utilizing stuff that was already debunked.
Yes. Well, bring this up.
Because there are so many people that are programmed and used to just listening and moving on, because that's what they were taught to do in school.
Yes.
All right. I think Gallagher said it. He said, we go to school to learn how to communicate, and they tell you to be quiet.
Yeah.
And you have to ask for permission to ask questions. You got to raise your hand. You have to ask for permission to speak your mind, and it better be the righteous question. It better be right way to speak your mind, or detention, go to the principal.
Right.
So it's like, we really need to focus on how we are raising our children.
Yeah.
To not think critically. because this is what PBD and what his panel was talking about. She brought up all these things that was already debunked because she knows her voters and some voters, swing voters and independents, are not going to do their due diligence to actually go and figure out what's going on.
So she spoon-fed them these lies and re-brought up all of these old things and stayed away from the topics that are currently happening right now.
Oh my God, let's continue.
I love how you said go to the principal detention. Honestly, if this were a high school debate, Trump ate her. He tore her to pieces. He tore her to pieces. She definitely would have lost the debate.
But that will be considered a bully today.
Yeah,
Trump will be considered a bully today.
Yeah, he would be.
I'm telling you. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know what a bully looks like if you think Trump is a bully. Okay?
That's coming from somebody who did experience a lot. I've
experienced.
People try to take you out, real bullies.
I was put in hospitals because of real bullies.
And you talking about now, it's like, and don't get me wrong, because this is the generation our kids are growing up in, cyber attacks, cyber bullies. And they're not talking about these type of things.
You can't handle a verbal conversation.
So I do think that now from what I've seen in the past few years, and it's gotten worse, these kids, like many that watch a lot of the platforms, are cyber bullies. They harass them. They harass them and they come to the school and they tell them, oh, we saw this comment and you're like this, so they harass him. But yeah, she would have lost in the high school.
I think she would have lost her shirt, but let's continue.
Yeah.
So what's interesting that I've been watching is that she came in tonight. She needed to survive the debate, and I think she's done that. She has not collapsed the way Joe Biden did, but she's not convincing. She's merely, and I feel like I'm being lectured by my aunt. Is how I feel. I do not feel warmth. I do not feel leadership. She's doing the best she can with the tools that she has and the way she was coached for this moment. But I'm not feeling leadership saying I trust that leader to go negotiate around the world. I don't trust that leader to go negotiate with Congress. That's how I'm feeling. And once again, he's getting poked at him, and he is staying short of full fury. And I think he's doing a very good job, responding and reminding us what the truth of what was happening.
Vinny,
if you had to guess, who do you think's winning? Like, if you, what do you feel that the American people right now are?
That's not how I'm looking at. I'm looking at independence. If I'm thinking independence, 70-30 to have Trump ahead. I don't care about the American people, left or the right. MAGA's not changing, and the progressive left's not changing. The independent 70-30, they're with Trump right now.
Okay, and then you were talking about the women with the abortion. Because I mean,
not the men.
They're not. No, what I'm saying
they're
is
not doing it. Just the women.
But what I'm saying is, do you think that that's shifting at all, or are any of those women going to vote for Trump?
What are you asking?
I'm at, like, from tonight, from listening to what.
Where are you going? What are you thinking?
Abortion and stuff. I don't know. I'm just thinking. I just feel like the way that she's performing right now, everybody tomorrow, from the Bill Maher's and they're gonna put her on a pedestal and make her seem like she's the second coming. She's gonna be the savior. I'm telling you right now. I'm getting messages right now like, oh my God, our boy's not doing good. Oh my God, he's failing. Like, I got 4 messages in a row saying that Trump is losing the debate.
Okay, Adam.
Really?
I'm dead serious. I just got another.
All right. So before we continue, I want to say something about what he just said, because I think what he said is very profound. Understand that this is what I think. Those 4 text messages, those people who are or that person, or those 4, because I can only assume that they're 4 people, but it might just be one person with multiple text messages saying that, oh my God, he's losing the debate. You have to understand that when you are looking at this through the lens of a person who does not care about Trump, does not care about Kamala, just care about their own personal points of living life, Trump lost this debate. And I don't think
to that person,
Trump lost this debate. Okay. He did not speak to the women voters. Kamala did.
And that's what they coached her to do.
Okay. That's why I understand where he's coming from. Like, oh my God, he's losing this, because he's speaking to America. Kamala is speaking directly to one voter.
Big difference.
All right. So
Yes, big
because of that, I understand where he's coming from.
Uh-huh.
And I do understand why he feels this way, because national television, the machine that is
Yes.
backing Kamala,
The machine.
is in the homes of that voter.
Right.
Trump is not in the homes of that voter.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know? Because I never see a Trump ad. I only see Kamala's ads.
Fact. Mm-hmm.
I only see those, whether it's Tubi, whether it's YouTube, whether it's wherever I'm
ABC.
going. It could be wherever I'm going. I'm
Disney.
seeing Kamala ads, but I'm not seeing what really affects real Americans on a day-to-day, because real Americans are not the voters they're looking for. They're looking for those independents,
Yep, that's what
those
I'm-
people who do not talk to people on a regular basis. They're to themselves. They go to work, do their job, go home. They're not interested in any of this. So when they get their sound bites and they hear Trump is trying to take away your Medicare,
Right.
Trump is trying to defund the SSI. Trump is getting rid of government programs that we desperately need for those who are in need.
That's what they hear.
That's what they hear.
And they're not looking any further on
They're
their
not
own.
going to look further. They're just hearing that. And then you have these individuals who are severely over entertained.
Yes.
So all you have to do, if you really want to focus on that particular voter, is just put sound bites into their to their stream. That's it. All right. Interrupt their Highway to Heaven.
They don't watch that. They watch Real Housewives of Atlanta.
They
don't watch. We watch the 80s shows.
Well,
and
yeah,
all this.
but
they don't watch
the
that,
reason why I
or
said
whatever they're watching.
The reason why I said Highway to Heaven, because that's what we watch. But you're right. What I'm saying.
They're watching all this new stuff.
You get my point, and that's why he's concerned.
Yeah,
because everybody's looking at Trump smashed Kamala because you're in the know.
Right.
That's not the voter that's going to determine this election. All right. It's the ones that are not paying attention
and don't care enough,
who think they are.
Well, I saw it. You did.
You watched
CNN.
News.
Okay,
dude. I've watched people for hours and hours and hours listening to anti-male television. I'm talking. Okay, so what is that show? That show? I
don't know.
The Crime Watch. Oh my God! It's a
48. The next 48.
No. It's
it's
based on
Crime TV.
Oh, what is that show? It's been playing for a long time. The Rape Unit.
Oh, we can't see.
The R Word Unit. What is it? I'll find it and I'll put it right here. This show right here is so geared to women. I can't stand this show. And for years I had to watch this show because that's the only program that my partner will watch. And she watched this program all day long. She used to sleep to it. She used to text to it. She used to cook to it.
Boy.
And I'm sitting here like, this show is horrible.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Because it paints men in such a bad light.
And that's why, I don't watch TV. I stopped a long time ago because, our diet determines everything for our life. So I don't watch none of that garbage. I don't. It was years and years and years and years. I'm talking about years ago. I used to watch Wendy Williams. And even with that, I was like, oh, you can't watch this mess no more. She's a gossip. Or like, I couldn't stand Lifetime. That's another one.
That's another
There's so many that are out there. You can't just take everything just because it's thrown at you. Just you gotta watch what you put in yourself. But.
And this is where Kamala is showing up.
Yep.
This is why I did a short and I did a video yesterday about the dangers of the last days. 2 Timothy verse 3. How women are going to be led astray.
It's in the Bible.
By what they hear. Because that's just what it is, right?
In the Quran,
that when this is what's going on, and it's scary to me to know that This is the perfect storm for Kamala to win this election.
Perfect storm.
It's like, don't make no mistake about it. Kamala can beat Trump. Not because she beat him on policy, not because she beat him in the polls, not because she beat him on the border issue, but because she got to the right voter. One vote can change the election.
Yes.
And if you can't get to that one voter before November, game, set, match.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much he goes around. He can go, he can do whatever he like. He can go to every state in the country. People that he need to talk to, he's not talking to. Not because he don't want to, but because he's not a part of that field. He's not a part of that lane. So when you are watching the debate and you do your sound bites, just like the guy said, I fear that they're going to use this to their advantage. Mainstream media is going to make Kamala look like a freaking beast, like she ate him alive, because all she has to do is look good for the camera.
Put them fake doe eyes on, looking empty.
Because who cares if she have an earpiece in her ear? Who cares? The voter she's going after don't know nothing about that.
Yes, they don't do enough research. They don't realize that same technique's been tried for years. Come on, they don't care.
They don't care, and this is the reason why it's like, yo, and this is why people say, yo, I don't see how Trump wins this. And I agree.
I'm not going to understand.
I agree, because even if Trump could do some ads, right, and get in front of that voter, the whole media system. I remember when me and you used to stay with my mom, and shout out to my mother, love you to death. And she used to watch the news, and I was listening to what she's watching, and I'm like, my God. Because I usually pay to not watch advertisement. Yeah. I used to pay before I was, whatever. So I used to pay for not to watch advertisement, because I know that's not quality. That's not quality content. All right. It's designed to get you to buy something. All right. It's designed to get you to take action on something. That's why I don't like commercials. I don't trust them. I don't respect them, because they're designed to get you to buy something. Granted, I'm using commercials in this video because I need to support the channel.
Right.
Okay. There's a big difference between trying to program you into get in front of you enough times, right? If I can get in front of you enough times, you'll eventually think that you need this product.
Right. But
right.
With stuff, when people are using their platforms, wherever the case, to fund the cause, it's a big difference.
That's a big difference. But and that's what a lot of these television program shows does. They take the money and like, look, whatever. So they're trying to get in front of you.
You didn't like the news that she was watching. Well, bless her heart. She started to watch it because of you. Actually,
it's not that I didn't like the news, because it wasn't the news that was the problem. It was the segments that was in between. Remember, this was in the heat of COVID.
Yep.
And they constantly every 45 minutes, they made sure you got your dose of get your vaccine pills. All right. They made sure you got your dose of it.
Yeah.
Make sure you're vaccinated. Make sure you're vaccinated. It is safe for all ages. I was listening to this crap for a whole year. A whole year. It even got me to start to think, man, maybe we should go down there and get the vaccine. But I kept my nose in my book.
And I only took a job that did not require it. They required me to go get all of us to go.
Oh my God. Every week we had to go down to that place and get swabbed and spit in this cup. So we can earn a living. That's why we had to get out of New Jersey. Right. But this is what I lost friendships behind that.
Yeah, this is what division does, because that's what happens. People, oh my gosh, I can't believe you. Go on your social media. Oh, they unfriended me. Oh, okay.
And then we find out a few years later, oh, the vaccinated was the ones actually spreading the virus.
Oh my God. Like, don't get it.
You're going down there specifically to get hit with, well, it's just a strand. Never mind. Never mind. It's a dead strand. Then why are you coughing?
Right.
Why are you sneezing? Why are you blowing your nose? Why are your temperature sky high?
Jeez, it was terrible.
Oh my God, it was nuts. But let's continue.
Pandemic.
Yeah, I'm getting text that Trump is losing.
I think there's only one time that Trump kind of lost his cool, and that's what I was sort of saying. Can Trump just keep it cool, bro? You saw with Biden. I mean, Biden is literally.
This isn't the same fight, though. There's two different fighting styles make fights.
Yes.
This is a different style of a
totally
fight.
different style of fight. He can't.
The other one, you don't have to do anything. The other one, the guy was knocked. It's like Tyson fight, 6 seconds, it was over with. This is going. She's going 9th round, 10th round, 11th round. It's going. There is no knockout yet.
Momentum.
He's
Well,
not.
it can't be a knockout. See, how can it be a knockout when she's able to hold him and not get called on it?
Right, he can't tag nobody in. You got 3-1.
Well, you shouldn't be tagging nobody in.
I'm saying.
But she can't. The moderators are pigeon-toeing him.
They had him on the road.
They pigeon-toeing him. They're not. It's almost like they got his right hand tied behind his back.
Right.
He can't really fight. He can't really show his whatever. And again, I think that played in his favor.
Right.
Because again, we're talking about a debate that is supposed to be going to the American voter that Trump truly needs to win this debate.
Right.
All right. And I really think that this played in his favor. I really do.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people might say, well, how is it that possible that, tying him up played in? Because you got to hear Kamala.
Yes. I kept listening to you. I'm like, what is it? And you were like, she's blowing it.
She was blowing
she just kept running that lava mouth of hers.
Because when she talked, she was going in that word solid way.
Yes, in circles, talking in circles.
And again, I know that I just previously said that the voter that Kamala is going for can change the sway of this election. But the voter that is waking up,
yes,
can sway it as well.
That's true.
And if that voter is waking up to this nonsense,
it's so many.
Listen, a lot of voters. There is a lot of quote unquote white people who was once part of the club.
Yeah.
Had a difference of opinion and got thrown to the dogs because they dared to have one.
Yeah.
And that voter also is waking up.
Yes.
So it's not just
it's happening.
It's not just the ones who took the job of that person who lost their job. It's the families who watched it happen.
Ooh.
Okay. That's how a lot of women was awakened to this onslaught on men. They woke up because they was like, wait a minute, my dad is a freaking saint, and he's going through this mess. Like when they start seeing their own family members go through this, that start to short circuit the program.
Right.
But wait a minute, men are bad. But
they said men are bad.
Wait a minute.
It's the program.
Once they start seeing their grandfathers going through this,
their
once
uncles, and they know them.
Uncles going through this, once they start seeing their brothers going through this, once they start seeing their husbands,
their own husband,
they started wait, something's not right with this. Something's not right with this. And then they start to do their own research little by little. They say, wait a minute. So let me get this straight. This woman is up here telling her story on how this minor was pursuing her, and he was persistent, and he was consistent, and he was so believable, and how she couldn't help herself but to lay down with this minor and get pregnant by this minor.
Come on.
And we're listening to her tell her side of the story. He's a minor.
That's somebody's underage child.
Wait a minute. And women was waking up like, wait a minute, hold up. I would never listen to a man tell me how a minor induced him into getting her pregnant.
Right.
I would never listen to that. But I'm sitting here listening to a woman who took advantage of her student.
Come on.
But because it's a boy and not a girl, she gets to tell her side of the story.
And all of that.
And you're buying this?
Right. And all of that happened during this time.
And then you realize, wait a minute, that's not just one teacher doing that. That's not just two teachers doing that. That's not three teachers. And then you start digging more and more into it. And you start realizing, wait a minute, teachers are doing a lot of weird things. Why is there a rainbow flag in the classroom? I thought religion was not allowed in the classroom. Why is there a rainbow flag?
Now, that's your belief. And that's in the classroom. So why is that here? You said we can't talk about.
Wait, hold up. I'm starting to, and these women are starting to see this thing, and they start realizing. And then when they wake up one day and their child walks in and saying, "I'm transgender," or and their IEP was changed, without their knowledge, and now they're like, "Oh my God,
it's happening."
Oh my God! But by the time and here's what is so scary. By the time you start seeing it happen, it's already infiltrated most households.
Yes.
And this is why I'm talking about this, because it started showing up in my living room.
Right.
It was in my living room. I started seeing it. I was paying to not watch ads, and it was still showing up in my living room.
And thankfully, I mean, we already have been having all of these conversations and stuff like that, but it was becoming more prevalent and more excessive, and we're talking about it not because there's any issue whatsoever speaking in that area with our children, but it's always best to talk about it at home.
Yes.
You listen, we're parents. We equip our own children first before they go out. This is when they were young. Equip them first before they go out there and somebody else tell them something like, nope, my dad and mom talked to me about that already. But because it came to our house first, like, wait, and he sounds just like Walls. Well, mind your own darn business. How am I mind my business when you made it my business and you talking to my child about it?
You're talking to my kids and you're telling me that I can't talk to you because, okay, when you begin to give children autonomy over their bodies,
children, it's
bro,
like at some point, come on, and this is where the rubber meets the road. You cross the line. Now we have to join the fight.
Peeing in the bed. Why do you have autonomy over your body?
What are you talking about? And it's usually the ones that don't have no children or decided not to have their children, but they're trying to tell you about yours. Listen, that's where the line is drawn. No, it's a no.
Let's continue
here. There was only one time he lost his cool when he's like, "You're gonna take the guns and you're gonna," all that kind of stuff like that. You even were like, "Oh, chill out, bro." She's a viable opponent, but she's not a viable candidate, if that makes sense. She's not likable. She's not that smart. She's just doing talking lines. She's a DEI candidate. Respect. I get it. This is what the Democratic Party is at this point. And she could beat Trump. Where I'm at right now is he is so much more qualified than he was.
That's the point.
I understand why people, dude, 8 years ago, it's crazy. No way, Trump. He knows what he's doing at this point. He's going to have people around him at this point. Are there things that she's doing better at, namely the abortion issue and a couple other issues? Yes. She has the Democratic machine behind her.
Right, the machine.
Media behind her. How many times has the moderators interrupted her?
Right.
Up against the world at this point. And
how many times did the moderators force her to answer a question?
I didn't see any.
Neither did I.
I think maybe I don't remember any, but I know they were like, Mr. Trump, we really like to hear the answer on that. Oh, Mr. Trump. Okay, and many.
Oh, and now, this is where I think a lot of people are not going to like me because, again, I do not just veer past certain things. I do my very best to give the same stick that I give to everybody else. I mean, as a husband and a father, I have to do that. So it has been ingrained in me for the last 20 plus years to deal with my ish. So when I see ish, I can deal with it.
Right.
And it's not easy to do. But when we say that we want Kamala to be held to the fire, I want Trump to be held to the fire too.
Yeah, it's only fair, even though they weren't fighting.
It's not only that it's fair, it's the best way you can make a decision with your votes. Okay. There was times where Trump did weasel out of the question.
Yeah,
he did not answer the question.
He veered off some Okay, but my thing was there are times that he did that, but in comparison, how many questions did he answer in comparison
he
to
answered
Kamala?
way more
This woman did
questions.
not. Come on, she didn't.
Now, I will say this: a lot of the questions that he did not answer, he can't answer. Like, well, how do you plan on getting this deal done? Why would I tell my opponent how I'm going to do it? That don't make sense.
And he answered it smart.
I'm not about to tell you how I'm going to make this deal happen. You already proven you'll steal my stuff.
Right?
No more tips. That was Trump's. Yep. No tax on tips was Trump's, not Kamala's.
Yep.
But Kamala's walking around, no tax on tips. I'm like,
it's crazy.
Freaking
sleazy,
really?
Slimy.
Oh my God.
Slimy.
I'm like, but this is the type of person that we're trying to put in the office. Nah, I'm sorry.
Slimy.
I can't do it. So yeah, there were certain questions that he did sidestep. In his defense, the questions that he sidestepped could not be answered because, again, I'm trying to clean up the problem.
Right.
And here's the thing. Hopefully, if Trump does lose this election, he still supports America by helping Kamala run the country.
I hope he's doing what he's doing now because he's not in office and he's the one showing his face when Biden or Kamala should be there.
Well, right now he's trying to win an election, so that's just the ideal thing.
Yeah, I get it.
But
you have a president in the seat right now that anybody seen his face.
Well, in her defense, she's supposed to be running the country, so she doesn't have time to do it. Right?
Isn't there a president in office right now?
Yes. And we haven't heard from him in
all I want to say is Biden is in the driver's seat in office right now.
Well, Kamala's supposed to be in the driver's seat as well. She's the vice president.
Right now. Where is Biden?
Oh, they took him out.
Is he in the seat?
Technically, yes.
Where is Biden?
They took him out.
You get the point I'm making.
Oh, I know what you're saying, but we're talking about a man that clearly has some issues. He has health issues. There's no denying it now, right? So it's like you can talk about cold meds all you want, but at this point in time, there's nothing anybody can dispute because they took him out specifically because they don't think he was able.
6 months before, come on,
right? So it is what it is. But let's continue.
She's saying that he's a disgrace, and he's saying that she's destroying America. And the voters and the independents are going to basically determine what's
But it's been Trump against the world since he announced that he was going to go. And think about it. In 2020, they had a global pandemic that came from China that still has no accountability, and everybody had to vote from home. And Joe Biden did that overnight leap. Right now, this is what I'm worried about. This election is the 20. Let's say what the number, the realistic number, 20 million people, Pat. And you said the stat when we had a debate with Candace and Chris Cuomo. How many of the states? 20 million people are going to be here. How many of the states that we have that you don't have to show photo ID or any proof of citizenship? 16? 16?
Amy, 10 seconds. They're coming back. 10 seconds.
I mean, they talk about vibes. Joy, she's the candidate of Joy. The vibe I'm getting is disingenuous. And we could go through every single point that she made and find where it was disingenuous and where she just used word salad to get out of the segment, basically.
Rob, bring us back. Tell us. Show us. Is it still in commercials?
Oh.
Okay. Amy, if you had any other thoughts, keep.
I mean, I took some notes here on some of the things I thought were extremely disingenuous. She talks about the fact that Donald Trump left the economy and the job market in a terrible state, admitted the fact that it was when the pandemic started and literally nobody could work. How is she going to omit that from that what she thought was an impactful point that she made?
Okay.
But we could go through list by list. There's so many points.
Here we go. Let's roll.
David Muir and.
Well, there's a reason for that. Do we want to listen to their closing remarks, or
I think so? We already.
We want to hear the. Okay, let's listen to the closing remarks from Kamala and.
No, I don't want to hear from them. I mean, I'm talking about the podcast.
Okay, cool. So let's just go straight to the.
Because I mean, I'm sure all of us have heard this the debate.
Done. Okay. All right. Now that it's done, Tom, go give your full analysis on what you got.
So my full depth analysis goes like this. She was very well coached. I don't think we've seen her this way, but I don't think the independents really saw something in her tonight. The independent vote is what's here. This isn't about the 43 or what we look at it. This isn't about the, the 44 and the 45 that are locked in. It's not about that. This is about the Kennedy voters that have not made up their minds yet. This is about the independent voters that are in the middle. And I don't think the independent voters are going to be swayed by what they saw if they look at it objectively. She had a lot of emotion going. I think she scored well on the abortion question. She spent more of her time, I think, being defensive in her answers the way she went. And I think they got him irritated, but he didn't go over the cliff. And I think overall, I scored this thing really close. I score it probably, 65-35, like 1/3, 2/3 is probably how I end up.
That's really close.
Right.
I mean, I see.
So you thought it was going to be a blowout. Your initial thoughts was this was going to be a blowout.
But looking at the historical performance and
Yeah.
the presence of her, which is all the data we have, and we saw her in California quite a bit, where she would really make a speech, and when she would, it was like, "This is our senator? You kidding me?" That's kind of how I see it.
But I thought a little part of that plays in though, because of how bad Joe Biden did. Anybody that does anything, even half as what she did, is looking like, oh my God, they're back. I'm not gonna lie, she surprised the hell out of me. She remember whoever was coaching her.
It was a low bar.
Yeah, exactly. Was freaking.
The bar was in the 7th ring of hell when it came to
Yeah.
Biden. Okay,
Yeah, no, yeah.
Right.
And listen, is this gonna sway the vote? The vote is not till what? November? I don't know. I think, like you said, Tom, the independents, the people in the middle, I hope they really, really see through all the BS. Trump has a proven track record. She's done absolutely nothing. And I know some people are like, well, she hasn't been the president. No, she's sitting right next to the guy. She has say in a lot of things. If the border is her number one job and she failed, I don't trust her to do anything else.
What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think that was my issue all along, and I'm trying to hear what she has to say. Is that wrap up right here? As I was saying,
We can wrap up right here. Yeah. I
I
mean, there's a couple of more minutes of this, but we don't actually have to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, that's my overall opinion with this gentleman here saying, and the one at the far right with his blue suit on. At the end of the day, I do not feel that she is. I feel that she's disingenuous. I don't feel that she, like this young woman said, I don't think that she's being honest in a positive way. I think that she's being an honest liar, but I don't think that she is someone, like this gentleman said on the far right with the suit on, that's someone that I want to speak on my behalf as a citizen of the United States that was born here to foreign countries. I don't think that that's someone that will be able to ignore her running mate. I think that her running mate is a good name for him because he would run to the hills. He would drop everybody.
Now, I know a lot of people want to try to dismiss Tim Walz because he is the VP, but I'm not dismissing the VP because if something ever happens to Trump, Vance will be in charge.
Right.
If anything happens to Kamala,
Walz will be in charge. And that's a problem
it's
for
like,
me.
I mean, my God, I would not want Walz going against negotiations with Putin.
Could you imagine?
No.
My gosh.
I mean, right now, Putin is, there's a lot of things going on that I am not at liberty to discuss right now, but there's a lot of things that's going on in Russia that, because see, here's the thing, people don't realize this, but Putin feels like he was attacked. Okay, because everybody's saying, "Oh, something happened to his pipeline. We don't know what happened to his pipeline." Come on, now we know what happened to his pipeline. We're not fools.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but here's the thing: how do you start a war without doing something foolish,
doing something underhanded? And I have to say that so far, and this is like you've been saying, you try to bring in the whole picture on both sides. Yes, Trump has a past. Yes, Harris has a past, a dirty one. Both of them do. But I'm talking about when she was a lawyer. They have a dirty past. And this is the point I'm making. People can change.
Yes.
Okay. And like this gentleman said on the panel, the lead one, it's been 8 years and since that time, not the lead one, the other one with the blue suit with the raspy voice that you were just using,
Yeah.
to the left of this guy with the black suit
Yeah.
on. It's been 8 years, and I believe that Trump has learned a lot within those 8 years. And Kamala has shown herself to be a dishonest liar and someone who will use whatever she needs to use in the worst possible way to push her agenda. And at the end of the day, not to say that Trump isn't either, but he is, like you made a point earlier, for the country. She's speaking to one sector.
Right. Now, to be fair, we
There
don't
you
know
go.
if Kamala did lie. We don't know if she is lying.
What do you mean?
We
She
just-
said that they're not cutting the chickens' heads off and eating them.
No, that wasn't her. That was the ABC panelist. That was the moderator who said that. So
Okay.
it wasn't.
It was
Kamala
some
who
other
said
stuff
that.
she did say.
So
though.
yeah, I'm just saying this just to protect the channel.
Yeah, I get it.
I know this is your
Allegedly.
opinion. I know this is your opinion.
We're
but
supposed to have free
yeah, we
speech.
want-
We're trying to hold
yeah.
on to it
Right.
in the US.
Right. So I do believe I don't trust Kamala.
That's the point.
I don't trust her. I don't trust what's coming out of her mouth. I don't trust her when she opens her mouth. I just don't.
No.
I don't think she has the best interest of the people. I think she has best interest in the people who are funding her. Because again, middle
She kept
management,
talking about him being bought off, but I believe it's the other way around.
$52 million. You see,
And more.
Well, that's just the one that I'm talking
Right.
about, right?
That's a lot.
Because there's plenty of money been thrown at Kamala, but she's gotten very, very rich behind this. So whether she win or lose, she is filthy rich right now, and it's because of this thing. Talk about wealth transfer. Like, that was an excellent way to do it. I don't know if that has any bearing to the swing or independent voter, but to me personally, that was a big red flag for me.
Yeah.
Because the vast majority of people want to keep their vote hush hush because it can affect their lives, right? Me personally, I don't give a damn. I just don't care anymore. I want to see our country go back to where it was. And I know a lot of, let me be frank to all the black people that's listening to me. When I say that, I'm talking about to the point of where we're working out our differences, not slavery the way they're trying to say.
Right.
Well, MAGA. Well, why do he want to go back to the way it was? It was never good for black people. It gotten better over the years. It's been getting better and better and better.
And she's saying, we don't want to go back. We don't want to go. Like you said,
no, but
she's using it.
She's talking about women.
Yeah.
She's not talking about.
She's not speaking for everybody.
She's just talking about women. We're not going back to the kitchen. She needs to finish it.
Yeah, that's what she means.
She needs to finish it, because that's what she's really focusing on. She is not. Watch out the core.
I see.
I just don't think a lot of people understand that when it comes down to how Kamala is approaching this candidacy, it's almost like she doesn't want to win because she doesn't have to win to get rich.
I was about to say, well, she's made the money now, so
she don't have to win to get rich.
If that's what it's
and
about.
if she wins, great. You know what I'm saying? That now they really can push forward their agenda. Because believe me when I'm telling you, they're going to push their agenda whether Trump wins or not.
That's true.
They're pushing their agenda.
I believe that.
All right. They're going to still are going to push CRT if parents don't wake up.
Yes.
They're going to still push this racial divide if parents don't wake up. They're going to still push transgenderism if your parents don't wake up. They're going to still try to get illegal immigrants and crime into this country if you don't stop. If you, as an American citizen, don't get up and start working out at 5 o'clock in the morning, you will lose your country, because Trump only gets 4 years, folks. 4 years, and they right back in business.
And right now he would have to undo everything that Biden signed out, like on the second, third
he
day.
Can do that, but see, here's the thing, and this is where I think a lot of people don't understand, especially when it comes down to where we are right now. The financial war.
He said we broke. That's what he said.
There we go. The financial war that we just went through in the last 3 years is going to affect Trump's ability to catch things up.
Uh-huh.
We are flat broke.
And he said, he was like, I had the country in a good place. Like, we were good.
We are flat
Oh,
broke.
my goodness.
So they're about to transfer over to Trump.
Ooh.
Oh, because see, this is what we do know.
Mm-hmm.
We know about the 800,000 fake jobs. We know about that.
Mm-hmm.
We know about the pipeline. We know about how we are hemorrhaging money. We just don't know by what levels yet. We don't know the exact numbers because they hide everything. They don't teach us. They don't tell us nothing. So we don't really know how bad it is.
Yeah,
we're going to find out in year 2 of Trump being in president.
I believe it.
If he does get it. So they literally gave him. They said, "Here, you have no money, right? You're filled with illegal immigrants, which is going to cost billions and billions and billions of dollars to clean up."
Yep.
All right. That's why I'm volunteering my services to this country. I'm volunteering. No, don't pay me nothing. Just give me a job, a shovel, and point to it. Because I understand where we are.
See, that's what happens with all hands on deck. That's what that sounds
I understand where we are. I understand what's going on. I see it happening. I know where the corruption is.
Yes.
I'm living in it right now.
Yes.
So it's like, for me, I'm like, look, I've been watching progressives bypass U.S. citizens for illegals for the last 20 years because I had to go out there and ask progressives for work.
Yep.
And I've seen how those who are, and we're going to stop in a few minutes, we're going to stop this. I've seen how hard it is to get a job from people that don't look like me. And I see how hard it is to negotiate a check with people that look like white people. When in all reality, they are progressives. And they do not want to hire me unless it's financially beneficial to them. And even then, when I was getting hired back then, even then, I had to accept the fact that I am competing with Pedro and his work.
It's just the truth.
All right. And his willingness to work for less than what I'm able to do. Because I had to pay for my car, I had to pay for car insurance, I had to pay for things that he didn't have to pay for. So what are your last thoughts?
I think our country is in a lot of trouble if we don't all have a great awakening. I think we're in a lot of trouble. I think that it's time to put aside how you feel about it, the emotionalism behind it, and truly see what's in front of us.
I agree with that. I think it's time for it. I think it's all hands on deck.
Yes.
And as an American citizen, it's time to clean up our country.
Yes. Shields up, everybody.
Everything. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed yourself. This is Gary Lamb signing off.
See you next time.
Lamb. You guys have a good one.